thought I'd make a video on updates, kind of what's going on. Here I'm paying $500 a month, all bills paid, and I gave a $250 deposit. So far everything is usually as it is. I've had to do a lot of cleaning, and I talked about that in another video, but I have now completed all the tasks of getting food stamps, Medicare. I've been here for 10 days, a little over 10 days. I was able to get food stamps, apply for like 10 different jobs a few days ago, and get on Medicaid. And I'm always having to go back and forth, Medicaid, print out some papers, make a delivery at UPS, fax another paper. So all that's complete. Now I just got to go back to the DHS office, which is the food stamp office, and give them some paperwork for the Medicaid to be approved immediately, for me to schedule doctor visits and hopefully get on this cholesterol medication and pay much more cheaper for any medications that are needed. And today I finally called. I have been having to have waited for, I've had to wait for the GED classes information, and nobody called me, so they said, I would call them before Friday. It's already been 2 weeks. Nobody called me, so I gave them a call. They told me, bad news, they're not having classes anymore at the GE Da Vinci Progress Center, which initially they told me they were having classes 2-3 days a week, 2-3 hours a day when I was in Dallas. So they gave me some information in 2 other different schools. One was next to a library that gives classes for GED, and the other one was another academic little progress center school that gives classes for medical assistant, dental, pharmacy tech, and GED preparation. But the GED preparation they have there is only online, and it's $65 for those that can have that waivered. Individuals that can have that waivered is possible, meaning like people like me, like are on disability, but I'll have to wait and find out. So they told me I'll have to enroll online classes, so it'd be online tutoring in a class, to my understanding, and be able to just take the math to finally, hopefully, pass my math, because taking the math class isn't just the problem. I have to pass the test. So for me to be able to accumulate this knowledge and retain it, and then take the test on the first try and pass it, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. But I'm going to go ahead, hopefully, and keep trying until I eventually pass it. And I'll earn my GED. I called about their other academic schools, and I know this is further way down the road, but I plan to take some other classes if possible, and highly considering it, once I pass and earn my GED. And I'll go into more in discussion with that. But for now, that's it's called Genesis Center. The other one is next to a library that I think might have in-person classes, but I left them both voicemails to return my phone calls and give you more details about it. So there's 2 schools that can give me some progress on being able to get a class for math to try to pass my test. Once I called the school that was next to the library, I haven't heard anything from them, but I just called them a few hours ago, so I'm expecting maybe a phone call before Wednesday next week, I'm assuming. But as far as the Genesis Center, they have other classes other than GED, and I thought CNA medical assistance is 4 months. A medical assistant, to my understanding, they can actually be in surgery rooms, which I thought was pretty. I don't know of medical assistants. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I think medical assistants can actually be in serious operating rooms. I'm not sure. I think might be able to go into for heart surgery and like lung transplants and some pretty sophisticated stuff, but I'm not sure exactly how that works. You probably have to have a tremendous amount of experience. You'd be a medical assistant from a very prestigious school. But I know that being a medical assistant, there's probably minor surgeries where you could, go into an operating room and actually do that. Now, there's only like 3 different stuff: the pharmacy tech, medical assistant, and CNA. They say they don't have the pharmacy tech anymore. So, as far as for me, I did ask questions about the CNA. Okay, so as far as CNA goes, certified nurses assistants. Certified nurses assistants can travel throughout the country where needed, and even in foreign countries. And I've heard of them being flown in helicopters to and get paid very well. True story that there is. I remember this when I think I was in Alaska. I don't know who else told me. Maybe it was in Alaska, or no, I think it was Colorado. Could have been Colorado. But CNAs, there's a staffing agencies that recuperate CNAs throughout all the United States that are needed, and they basically pay them money to travel and take care of these people, and they pay them very well. The reason is because these CNAs that travel have their hotels and planes tickets expenses paid, is because they travel and they do like an assignment for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it may be, and they get paid really well, and then the assignment ends. That is because the individual that is doing that type of work is very flexible. They don't usually have families, they don't have kids. If they do have kids, they're in a category that I would be placed. Never married, kids. They can kind of go out and about their business, and you get to travel. So I think that would be a great opportunity. But like I said, I know a little bit about CNA because I was going to a nursing home for 7 years. And there's many different, you don't just work CNA in nursing homes. There's different facilities that CNAs get applied to. But CNAs are the very, very, very bottom of the medical field. That is like, it's the very bottom of the medical field. So it's just a thought. I don't think, and one of the reasons that I want to is because my mother's illness, and I don't know what Frankie's physical being as a person is. I don't know what his well-being, but I do know that my mother's in trouble. I know that my mother is not capable of taking care of herself. And I think that this would help whatever credentials that I could get to participate and make some sort of credibility discussions about my mother. Okay? And if not, I haven't talked to my mother, biological mother, in a long time. It's only her twin that I'm talking to. And as much as control that's going on in my life right now with these electronic devices and everything that's going on, I may not even have any choices. But regardless, it's good to have. And one of the reasons I want to get this CNA also is because I thought if there's cruise ships that major cruise ships like Disney cruise ships and Carnival cruise ships, and these boats that travel all throughout the world, and they live on the ship, and you get paid really well. Again, these are people that don't have families, that can leisure to have traveling. And if I get a CNA, would it improve my abilities? And the CNA classes they have here, they teach you, they give you certified CPR, certified nutrition, certified, and they do it all combined together with the CNA. And I thought that'd be really good because I'm trying to get a job eventually. Like after I have my GED, I'm gonna try to get a job and really highly consider, do something, try to learn something else. I don't know what it is, just a certificate. Scuba diving, but just a certificate, not a degree. Obviously because of the circumstances of my life right now. So when I do that and get that certificate, whatever it may be, like CNA's like 3 months is what they told me, Monday through Friday, 5 hours a day, 9 o'clock to 2:30. That's a lot of hours. I've heard of ones being 6 weeks, but this one was 3 months. So that's a pretty significant certificate, at least what they told me. So as far as it goes with my mother, I think that would help to make any type of input of anything, but it also to give me an opportunity to maybe travel and get paid well. But I'm not sure. It's just a discussion. It could highly possibly that I'm not going to as well, but there's welding, there's like all these minor certificates I can get, and I'm probably, when I finish my GED, I will not be attending college here. I will be going to Dallas to attend college, to any certificates. So that's what my plans is. I know that if I were to get CPR, first aid kit, nutrition certificates, even whatever, a personal trainer certificate, that there's so many different certificates out there you can get that are 5 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. Even if it's just a CPR class, which is 2-3 days, or just a single day that I take and pass a test, I can put that on a resume and apply to be on a cruise ship. And whatever job, even if it's a warehouse inside a cruise ship, because they have warehouse jobs inside the cruise ships, I can work there, get paid really well, and travel on a boat to make some extra money. At least get to experience that. At least get to experience working on a boat. It seems like a lot of fun. I don't know if I would get seasick. I think I have before seasick, but I only got seasick and car sick when I was a kid. But I think that would be really great for me to be able to earn some extra money, and obviously I'm gonna, after my graduation, I have to do something for myself and do a traveling trip to probably to Jerusalem, but that's gonna take a financial grip, a lot of money. It's very expensive to travel there and back just on a flight. Just on a flight there and back, and if I were to even spend 2-3 days there, talking $3,000 minimum, and that's only like 2-3 days. It's going to cost like $4,000 minimum. To get settled, to figure out, stay there for 3 weeks, stay there for 6 weeks, and then come back, or because if I were to go to Jerusalem, I'm going to stop by for a couple of days over in the Vatican, then maybe stop by in Spain, where the old skinny man lives, where he built the cathedral church. The famous guy that built a cathedral church by himself in Spain, Madrid, Spain. So, anyway, I know that's really far ahead, but those really are kind of my options. Right now, I just focus on my GED and nothing else, because the math part is the most difficult part, obviously, for most people. But that's my objective, is to try to pass it. I've already had some setbacks because they're not having it at the Da Vinci Progress Center, so obviously, at least I had these other two options now to be able to go to either one of them. But even if, once I pass this GED, for me to get a CPR certificate, what is it? CPR certificates are like, I don't know, 2 days, a day or something, a day class for 5 hours, because I've taken them before. Get that certificate, put it on a resume. First aid kit, couple hours, put it on a certificate. Whatever other certificates that could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, probably not 8 weeks at most, unless I got a CNA or something like that, I can put it on a resume, and it just increases my ability just to be more worthy to more or a larger range of a job position I could be applying for. I know in cruise ships, many years ago, I remember DJ Ivan G, who went to R.O. Turner. I don't know if Frankie ever knew him. I don't think he did. He could have. I know Michael Rossiter and Chris Martinez knew who he was. was. Everybody that went to Art Turner, Bruce Myron knew who he was. Eric Quintero, I think, knew who he was really well. Ivan G was like a badass scratch DJ in Dallas. He used to play on 89.3 KNON on the Mexican radio station, and he played break beats and dance music. And he was someone to be very feared by, at least when it came to music in the DJ world. I know I saw some stuff on Facebook like 15 years ago or something, and I know that he actually got a job on a boat to be a DJ on a cruise ships, and he was traveling on a cruise ship getting paid lots of money. I thought it was important for me to talk about, because that was kind of how the situation went, with the opportunities and me thinking, it's like, well, wow, maybe I can, not DJing, but I'm thinking is to work on a ship, on a cruise ship. So I'll be able to work on a cruise ship. I had to have these certificates, and I can get paid really well. Regardless, cruise ships always pay very well, and many of them travel all across the country. There's some really fancy ones out there, which I highly doubt I would be hired. I mean, I'm pretty sure the really expensive luxury cruise ships that people get to work on, they usually have a lot of experience, degrees, or already worked on a cruise ship for many years before they transfer to those types of cruise ships. But they get to travel overseas. They get to go to like Norway, they go to Switzerland, they stop by for a couple of days, and they turn right back around back to the shores of the U.S. and just repeat that cycle, whatever their cycles are. But I think it would be really great. Again, if it's not that, CNAs. I know that Dallas, Texas used to have classes that were 4 to 5 weeks for CNA. So I was really surprised this person told me 3 months. I know CNA certificates, you can get it in 4 weeks. 4 to 5 weeks, no more than 6 weeks. But if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around 4 to 5 weeks. You could get a certificate to be a CNA. So that's an open range. Another certificate I could go. I know Dallas has a good scuba diving classes that you could take, and it's called, I think, at Scuba Toys or something like that. And then they have like a scuba instructor to teach you how to go scuba diving. And there's a broad range of some of that stuff. I know I had a friend of mine tell me that underwater welding is extremely expensive. Pays extremely well. Like they make $60,000 a year, but it's very dangerous. You're basically in a scuba entire outfit. You're going underwater and you're welding whatever it is that you need fixed. But I think those are like more of the higher level of education parts. Probably several months, 6 months before you do anything like that. But I'm pretty sure those jobs are heavy certificates, or not maybe a degree, but at least 6-8 months training, something like that, of some kind of certificate. But I do know that that's an option for me. And I was like, well, maybe there's something in that field, or just welding. I do know that there's some ranges in CNA, where I can get with the temp service and they'll pay me money because there's natural disasters, or there's just, it doesn't have to necessarily be on the news, but I've heard them fly out CNAs to different countries. And the U.S., I'm not sure how the money goes, but other countries will pay whatever CNAs because they need help, because a lot of other people in other countries are really fucked up and poor. So they'll fly a plane, and you'll be a CNA, and they'll fly you to a destination, you and maybe 4 or 5 other CNAs with whatever medical crew there is, and basically you go to this place. It could be a tent outside, it could be it could be in a property somewhere, whatever they may be, and then they pay you really well, you finish your assignment, and then you book out. And so they have these CNAs travel like that. So that seems like I could get to travel, I get paid, I make my money, and I get to learn more in that field. for me, you know, medical field is not something that I don't think I'm ever going to be pursuing heavily in my life anymore. That's pretty much, that's off the table. That's gone now for me. Earning certificates, yeah, for a while, but I have to figure out what other options and certificates I could get to make some sort of a kind of a living. I don't know what the outcome of any special DJ career of all this public eye. I don't know if I'll develop cancer. You know, if I have 4 or 5 years left before I build up a terminal stroke or a terminal cancer, but I really don't, I'm not really looking very far past that. So, you know, that thinking that to myself that I could go and earn a degree for 4 fucking years and study and get a, you know, bachelor's are 4 years, masters are like 5 to 6, associates are 2 years, if not more, because if you fail any classes, and you got the certificates. So the certificates can kind of help me propel me into that situation and get better opportunities. But there's always, there's all sorts of other training classes. I've heard, I know at Ohio and a couple of other states have printing classes on learning how to print very specific printers. Like they actually, you go to a class to learn how to run a DocuTech in a formal class instead of learn on-the-job training like the way that I did. But there's all kinds of stuff. I don't know what's out there. I had to do my research. I think that would be really great, but I don't think I could, you know, being in that world of people are getting diseases and dying, and at least in the circumstances that I'm in, I don't think I would be allowed to, and I don't think it's just going to even be possible necessarily. But I don't know what the circumstances. Maybe if I did get a CNA for 3 months or a month or whatever it is, the state that I'm in, then it'd be great. I could get on a plane, or I could get on a chopper or on a plane and go to these places, earn some extra money, and just be in the atmosphere with whatever it is. I think that'd be great, but there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I couldn't remember. Forgot. You know, I have to find out. It's going to take, for me to do any traveling after my GED, it's just going to cost a lot of money. You know, traveling homeless out of a backpack to just living, you know, out the streets. You know, if I have to, I'll do it again. You know, if I go on a getaway trip and I just start, you know, train hopping in Germany and France and fucking taking planes and shit, then that's what I'll do for a period of time, just to travel and see the world. But I don't know yet. I don't know. You know, I think it'd be really good and best blessings for me to go to Jerusalem. Due to my age, illnesses, diseases, circumstances, and those that may be paying attention to my life, and things that I can no longer control. And I think that would add a lot of pleasant positivity and good, healthy vibes and understanding, because the reality of mortality and death is very raw, very real, and it's something that, you know, when I'm out of here, I'm out of here. Nobody else is going to give a shit. You know, whatever tears they throw out of their eyes is bullshit. You know, they move on to the next day, and that's it. You know, the way I've had to live my life has been very, very awful. And how I lived while I was alive on Earth. But I have to make the best of it, because I believe in a higher power than God. I like to believe in one, even if one doesn't exist. I like to believe in one. And it's just healthy to believe in that. And everyone has their own perceptions, right? Faith is supposed to be stronger than belief, so it's to have that faith that it does. And that's where I stay. So I think that would be really great. There's also personal trainers in gyms. I know they get certificates. I don't know what kind of different certificates people can get. Whether it's a management certificate just to be at a workout center specifically, or a personal trainer. I know personal trainers make a lot of money, and I know it takes a significant amount of studying, but for me to kind of venture off something that really doesn't pertain in you know, like a personal trainer, which I don't even know how long it takes. I'm assuming at least 3 to 4 months. You know, I'm thinking 6 months. Those personal trainers, I think, are much more extensive in their knowledge. You have to tune into the education, and I don't think I think it'd be really difficult. I really love, and I think it'd be really great for me to be able to learn new material, new material from a new job. You know, like I said, like a CNA or like a scuba diving or welding, and take an academic class for it and learn so I can apply myself. There's all kinds of different stuff that I don't know. I don't know what, I know electricians are like 6 months, you know, I don't want to do that. But I'm really just thinking of the short term to see where life takes me. And I'm not in any way holding up to any promising, you know, I have not touched turntables and music careers in a very, 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 very long time. And I haven't touched any of that music, like I said, for a very long time. And I don't expect anybody to give me shit. You know, it doesn't matter what anybody gives me, what you think somebody's going to give me, and what that job position is. Playing in front of a lot of people is not what you think it is, at least in my position anymore. And the reasons will be different, and it won't be the same. And you know, dying young. The whole situation is that I'm old now. I'm 40. I'm 42 in a few months, and I've already gone through chemo and a transplant and had heavy drug usage in my late teens. While I didn't know I had aplastic anemia, I've had some few close calls with my health scares. You know, having like a minor stroke when I was like 11 or 12, being poisoned. There's significant things that have happened through my life that lead to me not being able to live a very old life to my 60s. I don't see anything past 60s. I don't see anything to maybe a few years after my 50s. And I'm 42. I don't see maybe anything until something serious happens to me. I don't see anything maybe past 12 years, 10 years. I'll be 50. I'll be in my 50s if I live that long. For somebody that's gone through the level of drug abuse in my teens, and specifically aplastic anemia, and didn't know about it, and went my life for so many years like that and didn't know about it, the deterioration and damage I have, they don't know what the fuck happened. So I'm just thinking short term. The stress of everything that's going on in the world that I live in, you know, the phone calls, the screeching, the electronic devices, I really don't find that that's ever going to stop. Ever. I could not even begin to tell you how dark and cynical some of this behavior is, but I just don't think, you know, it's ever going to stop. But so I'm just really thinking short-term certificates to get a job, make some extra money. One of the biggest goals, probably above all that stuff, is other than GED, is to be a get janitorial licenses. Being a janitorial, you know, janitor, there's a lot of different stuff that they do, waxing floors and all kinds of shit. And most of the time, places there's pro-made maids that you can hire at temp services that just focus on maids and janitorial cleaning. They may know some offering classes that specifically tell you safety precautions, stuff about janitorial. Chemicals and what chemicals should be used and what not, what likely machines, and maybe I could take some classes for that. And I can work as a janitor. That'd be really great. You know, mopping floors at an NBA center, you know, at an American Airlines center or something like that at night. That would be beautiful. That would be unbelievably beautiful to do that. You know, earning really good money and have my certificates, because janitor job positions are very often, and it's not particularly the most best job that people want to do. A lot of people don't want to do it, but I'm willing to. And there's a lot of different janitorial job positions out there, a lot. Every place, every building needs a janitor. At least one janitor. Every building you go to needs at least one janitor, and it's a job position that, you got cemeteries, you got, all kinds of different facilities that need a janitor. Night shift is a very common one. Get to work alone. Do I do my what I need to do and take care of for the day and my job assignment? But I think that'd be great, because if I get these janitorial license, I could put those, that as well on a resume and apply for like the Carnival or the Disney or Norwegian cruise ships. I know that when I was in Florida, was it Florida? No, it was in California. I remember there was one of the temp agencies I saw that did hiring just specifically for cruise ships. So I could give them a call and figure out what likely it is, certificates or something like that. But I know that's really thinking far ahead. Right now, it's just to focus on this GED, get this completed. So if I have to take online classes, then that's what I'll be doing. I have really bad signal downstairs here. It keeps cutting off and on even when I'm playing video games. But other than that, I'm going to just take the online courses. If not, I'd like to go in person. I like to be in person, paper and pencil at an actual classroom. But that may not be an option. I have to wait until they give me a call the next couple of days and inform me. I've applied at several gyms and several places, all the grocery stores, Shaw's, Sign and Stop, Stop and Shop, Walmart, and all these three major grocery stores here. I've applied like 10 different job positions, and 3 or 4 different job positions in each store. I also applied for like 5 or 6 different job positions at Planet Fitness and different fitness centers, and I went to an interview, and they should be calling me by before the end of Tuesday what the results of any opportunities, and they were going to send my resume to some of the other gyms, which is perfect and great, because it's at a gym. Everybody likes going to the gym, the vibe, even if it's just a little bit of exercise. Your atmosphere, you got a little bit of your aerobic music, and just the environment, the membership. They have me working as a membership, so they have me working the front desk memberships. I'll be doing the mopping and cleaning, and then working the front desk like I did before over at Crunch whenever I was in Lawrence, Kansas years ago. About 4 or 5 years ago. It was about 4 years ago that I was working over at Crunch Fitness, and was there working member services, front desk, and doing janitorial work. So I'll be kind of doing the same thing, and I'll be at a gym, give me an opportunity to work out, learn more, whatever it is. So hopefully I'll be making some pretty good money. I think it paid $15.50, which is not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'll make that extra, I know most jobs, a lot of the jobs I've been looking up, I noticed they paid $20, so it's a little bit lower, but I don't care. Atmosphere is great, get a membership, and hopefully I'm hoping to get a job in Platinum Fitness, which is even walking distance. It's like a 40-minute walking distance from here. It's not too far. So that's what the plan is. Anything can go wrong, like everything else is in circumstances, but other than that, and unless anything new pops up or anything new shows up, unless I also, but other than that, I'm just planning to finish my GED. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to. It's going to be very challenging, very, very challenging. I don't expect to pass it the first time, who knows if I have to take the class more than once. Hopefully, it would be great for me to be able to complete if I were to go in person from start to finish, or finish the classes online from start to finish, and complete the entire class and then pass it the first round. But I don't expect it to pass it the first round. So hopefully, maybe I get lucky. But that's the objective. It's going to be very challenging, very difficult. I feel my age very much. The electronic devices and where I'm being shot at is very terrifying. I mean, it's almost crazy in itself, because I'm being shot into the back of my head and my back of my brain, and I'm so violently, like a month ago when I was watching the Ninja Turtles in the movie theater. I thought I was having like a stroke. Like it was literally cooking my brain or something, where I just didn't know where I was. It was very terrifying. I don't know who it was that was shooting me with these electronics, but I could feel the violent blows to the back of the head and brain that they were shooting me with. 2 days ago or yesterday, when I was driving on the bus, and the bus driver passed by one of the buildings, and somebody I talked about, immediately I got nauseated, like I was just going to start throwing up all over the fucking floor. I was like really fucking dizzy and like nauseated, like I was like, man, I'm really fucking sick. I felt like I was going to just start vomiting. I mean, I was horrifically, I don't know what the fuck, I felt, it got kind of like a little burst of cold sweat, like something dangerous was happening, malfunctioning, and I know it was an electronic devices, and this is the terror of fear that, I have no idea the terror of fear that brings, because I don't know who's in control of the situation, but I'm taking so much of a gamble. So like I said, other than that, get on my meds, get on cholesterol meds to lower my cholesterol, because I'm at high risk for heart attack and stroke. And lower that and improve some of these labs. It's very terrifying not understanding the labs about what's going on, because when somebody shoots me these electronic devices and shooting them in the back of my head, even when I'm here and feel the violent blows, it's very horrific, because it feels like I'm losing my memory or some shit in some cases. And here I am trying to pass a GED in mathematics, and mathematics and GED is extremely difficult for those that probably don't even remember how to do, half of this stuff on there anymore. But I have to relearn the situation, and I have these circumstances that are going on. But I'm going to be trying my best. I don't know what the circumstances are going to be. Thought I'd make a video. Hopefully this keeps you updated. And, yeah. And it's already September, and yeah, we'll see how long I have to be here. Good thing is, also, I've already got scheduled for my root canal to be completed on September 18th, and the cavities to be completed, at least some of them. They said I only have a few cavities, and that's to be completed after my root canal, after the 18th. And I went today to the dentist, to the general dentist, and they gave a great explanation to all the different erosions of the teeth, and give me an explanation on how that really works. Very explained, and I understood 90% of it. So I thought that would be really great for me to be able to get awareness about what's going on. They told me, get your root canal completed first, and then come back to us to get those cavities. But they said I was kind of good to go. I don't have too many cavities. I did have like 10 cavities, but they said it was only like 1 or 2 of them, I think, if I remember correctly. They said I only had like 1 or 2 of them that was like they need to, fill in or do a filling or something. So that's can only get done after my root canals. The root canal is the major one. So the major root canal, now that when they do the root canal, when they pull out your tooth, I think they put you to sleep. Whenever they do the root canal, I don't think they put you to sleep. They might. I do know they will be putting Novocaine or whatever it's called. You won't feel anything. I won't feel anything. If they put me to sleep, again, then I don't really care. I'm all right as long as I don't think they put people in anesthesia with root canals, because I don't think it's really that intense. Because you have to have an anesthesia doctor to do that, and that's pretty. I don't know. They might. I don't know. If they do, it's not a big deal for me. I'm assuming my presumptions of that is just to walk in, get the root canal completed. They, inject me with this Novocaine or whatever numbing medication. I don't feel anything, and maybe laughing gas or whatever it is, and then get that completed. And he explained to me the whole situation. Once I get that, I go over to. I feel like somebody just shot me in the back of the head. I'm having these strides of pain, these hemorrhaging pain. Once that's completed, yeah, go directly over to the cavities and get that completed as well. And I'm good to go. Came here for my teeth, and that was the #1 thing to get completed. Now it's just to focus on this GED. So by the 18th, I have my root canal completed. That's the #1 goal. That's the most serious one. And then the cavities filled in. If I find a job, make some extra money, I'm going to buy, hopefully, teeth whitening, because I stained my teeth pretty bad from all the smoking that I've been doing. So I'm going to buy, like, usually the stuff you buy at the dentistry is better stuff, but maybe I can find some really high quality, pretty expensive stuff. I know it costs like $150 to $200 at a general dentistry to use the teeth whitening type of stuff. They may have, I don't know, that was 19 years ago when I had that done. Almost 20, I was 22. Yeah, I think I was 22 years old at that time. So it was 22, yeah, I was like 20 years. 17, yeah, it's 19 to 20 years ago that I had that, my molars taken out, and that was the last time that whole situation with me, because I used teeth whitening during that time as well. Before I had gone to the root canal pullings, the wisdom teeth pullings, and it was like $200. So 19 years ago, the evolution of those chemicals and whatnot is completely changed and bettered and priced. So hopefully they'll have some pretty good affordable stuff to teeth whitening, and who knows, maybe I can get some teeth retainers and braces to help straighten out my teeth. That'd be really great to have completely straight, perfect teeth, to have my teeth, both top and bottom, completely even and straight. So those are just some ideas. Like I said, priority is just GED and get a job and figure out where I'm going to go from there. But I'm up just about 100%. Any high level degrees are off the table. I got too much. I won't ever, unless I ever get my full freedom ever again in life, I don't ever see that happening. Certificates, without a doubt. Yeah, certificates. 2 months, 3 months. I think electricians are the 6 months. AC and conditioning, AC and heating certificates are like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So there's a lot of stuff there. There's many different fields of certificates that I can get. It's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever that is. I'll have to do my research, see what I find out there. I'll make a video on this. So hopefully it's keep you updated.